A new AI-powered phone system has managed to address over 70% of driver queries without interaction with a human. The goal was to save drivers time on hold while also eliminating busy work for driver managers. Flatbed operator PS Logistics recently partnered with a tech company to solve these issues. Today, we have PS Logistics Vice President of IT, Mauricio Paredes, and Hyperscale co-founder DellaMaria to share the details of their partnership to create the AI agent called Vic, or Virtual Information Coordinator, that gives drivers 24/7 access to information. Welcome to CCJ Innovators. I'm CCJ Tech Editor Angel Coker. In this series, we profile carriers and fleets that have found innovative ways to overcome trucking's challenges. Go ahead and subscribe, and let's get started. Okay, so tell me about Vic, explain what it does, and share some detail in how it works.
So VIC stands for Virtual Information Coordinator. It's a voice assistant that has been developed with the help of the Hyperscale team. It's been using PS Logistics to support our drivers and our internal team. It's meant to handle repetitive calls, high volume calls, and allow our drivers and back office staff to interact with our systems via voice. It's meant to take on all these repetitive calls for information that happen through the servicing of our loads, through our drivers being on the road, requiring information about their work orders. It's meant to assist our driver managers by uploading those requests for information that can quickly be done by an AI assistant.
Mo's totally spot on. And at Hyperscale, our mission is to help carriers improve their operations and safety with the power of AI and make sure that they're benefiting from the technology. And so Vic is our flagship product and is a great example of how AI can be used to help take the most repetitive and mundane work off of people's plates, mostly for kind of office staff that would need to be handling lots of these phone calls and messages. And then also for drivers in the field, making sure that they have the help they need, personalized and 24/7. So it's like a DM that never sleeps and has infinite patience. You can call it on nights and weekends, message with it. And yeah, really the goal is to help improve the productivity of everyone involved, improve driver happiness, and then through that, also improve asset utilization and safety by making sure folks are building the right habits and we're able to do kind of personalized outreach over time. So yeah, that's a bit about Vic. And really excited to be partnering with Mo and the entire P&S team.
Tell us a little bit about the P&S Transportation and Hyperscale partnership and how y'all are working together on this.
I'm lucky enough to sit in a couple of customer advisory boards, and one of them is Samsara. And I think maybe, a year ago, Samsara featured PS Logistics as one of their flagship customers. And through that newspaper article, I guess, Bo got a hold of our contact, and then he reached out and explained what the mission of Hyperscale is. At the same time, we were looking to do something very similar. So we matched up what our ideas were with the capabilities of Hyperscale, and we created a roadmap for developing this voice agent. So it was a little bit of lucky timing and mindset sync, I will say.
That's how we remember it as well. And I think from the beginning, something that we really admired about you, Mo, is you're someone who blends tech and trucking and physical operations together. And that's part of our DNA as well. We really love geeking out about the technology, but also using it to solve real world problems and bringing it kind of to folks who could really benefit from it. So it's been a lot of fun, even the commercial stuff aside, just the personal partnership and then the partnership with your team. You guys are clearly building a business that you really care about. You care about all your employees, your drivers. It comes through in all the interactions we have with you. And so from the beginning, we were, just really excited. And it was clear you understood our vision for the future and we could really partner together for the long term. And I think part of the pitches we gave Mo early on that won him over was our vision is one day to have our own conference, just like Samsara and these other companies, and we're gonna have Mo up there on stage with us and be part of the origin story. It's gonna happen, Mo, sooner rather than later.
I think it was more applicable that there were a lot of voice AI vendors out there, but they were very much targeting the brokerage side, the non-asset side, and we really were a driver-first company. We wanted our tools to be driver-centric, to be driver-focused. And when we pitched that to Bo and his team, and the entire team of Hyperscale, they also saw it as a good mission to have. That it's been, again, a good sync of goals and mission. So,
y'all haven't had this in place very long, but can you tell me, what the experience has been so far, maybe driver feedback or leadership feedback, anything like that?
So we've received positive feedback from all those three stakeholders. First, the driver, because that was our goal and our mission. Right now, the way that we have it set up is Vic, it's its own phone number. And then we did an intensive communication campaign out to the drivers through email, through our mobile comm, letting them know that this service was out there, explaining what the features were, what they could interact with Vic about, and let the drivers use it. And just under that structure, as optional, I think it's the way that we have it currently. We have, roughly 1,000 minutes a month. What is that? 915 calls monthly from our drivers that are interacting with the system in that way. It's quick. It's funny. And one of the things that we've seen is like a progression of interaction. At the beginning, there was a lot of talking to the AI like it was a person. And then later on, the drivers realize, okay, you go in, you use the system gives you the information, and you move on. So the calls are more effective and shorter as the drivers understand how to use the system. The drivers have had very positive say because they quickly get information that they need, but also if they need to be transferred, they ask Vic to transfer. And Vic is aware of everybody's direct line, so Vic can transfer directly to people. On the driver manager side, we've also had positive experiences because the driver managers say, well, it allows the driver to retrieve information at the moment they need it. The common workflow is to send all this information up front. When you send the load details to the driver and then expect the driver to use their device or their mobile comm unit to read this. But now what drivers do is they just quickly call. They ask for the information that they need at that moment. For example, some sort of reference number because they're at a gate. Vic quickly gives it to them and they move on. So it's very quick burst of information, the right data at the right moment. And then finally, the executives have been very pleased because we went from almost proof of concept design to a product that was live working within 3 or 4 months. So we've been very quick to launch, very quick to iterate on any issues that we have and any feedback that we receive. So overall, all the stakeholders are happy with the application. It's opened up the AI conversation for other things based on the success that we've had with Vic. So very positive, I will say.
So what results or benefits have you seen from this so far?
So again, satisfaction. That's the one that we want the most. Driver-centric, as I said at the beginning. We also seen, all this time that's been moved over to the drivers using the system directly has been offloaded from our driver managers themselves. So we are allowing the driver managers to have, I think, more impactful interactions, right? Because now the interactions are not so transactional. Since that information was already covered by the agent, it's more about dealing with the bigger problem. It also gives the DMs that sense that they can take a few more minutes to handle a problem in a more personal way, because if somebody else needed some information, they have a way to get it.
I'm curious to know what you think will be the additional benefits of this in the future.
We actually purposely started where we are, right? Which is basically a smart IVR without offending Vic, of course. First, we wanted to gain the driver's trust as in their experience with the system to make sure that we were building on successes, right? We wanted to see how the drivers were accepting it. And then putting it up front in that interaction with our systems via voice gives us a wide spectrum of what we can do next. I mean, basically, the goal is to take all these features that we have on our backend systems and things like work order updates, automatic work orders for a maintenance system, automatic load searches from our TMS system, and then front end them with this voice capable system. So everything that happens on the back end by our end users is now going to be available for the drivers to do. So a driver can call in and say, hey, open a maintenance work order. And Vic should be able to do that. Or, hey, what sort of options do I have for my next load? And Vic should be able to answer that.
You're already seeing, some efficiencies, right? So do you see that expanding? What about, potential like driver retention or anything along those lines?
The driver choice is a big one. I think that's going to be a big difference. We have a couple of our companies that already have driver choice, but is being used through the app. But we think it's going to be more effective if it's done using the voice agent. And then I think some of the baselines that we're currently measuring to try to understand what the impact of VIC or the drivers having access to the systems directly are going to be things like dwell time, waiting for next load, because that's a combination of the features of VIC and making it available to the driver, right? So the driver will be able to call in, say, hey, I want to do this, and then see how well that matches with what the system has available for the driver. Our next iteration of VIC 2.0, we're targeting some of those measurements to understand, okay, now we're just not measuring how VIC performs, but we're measuring how people using VIC are improving.
Our main goal is just to support everything that Mo and the team are doing. And we see ourselves as bringing some of that cutting edge technology experience, but packaging it in a way that's really easy to use, easy to understand, both for, the drivers in the field. The drivers are so important to this industry. And so we just want to uplift them, give them superpowers, make sure they're really happy and just feeling supported 24/7 operationally on the safety side, and then also empowering kind of folks in the office as well. So imagine if a driver manager, they can kind of offload some of the most repetitive tasks, or if they were able to call every driver at the start of the day and sort of prime them for their day, sort of things that are hard to do today just as a human, but with an AI, it can do 10 calls, 100 phone calls at the same time. What does that unlock for you from a DM and driver and operational standpoint? And then the DMs can focus on those personal relationships with the drivers and really just focusing on those kinds of interactions. And that's really where we see the value, and just really excited both for today, but then also in the next few years as the market swings back and businesses is really booming. We're super excited to kind of set folks up to continue benefiting from AI and continue spreading it throughout their operations. And also focusing on the office user. So we're building out some dispatcher copilot, office user copilot functionality, and just really excited. And again, just so thankful for Mo and the entire PNS partnership. They've been fantastic partners from the beginning. And shout out not only to Mo, but also the entire team, Houston, Andy, Scott, and all the drivers who are using Vic every day. Just really thankful and excited for the next chapter.
That's it for this installment of CCJ Innovators. Check out ccjdigital.com for more trucking content from our editors. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll never miss a post from CCJ.